Alright, what's going on, guys? Today we are going to be taking a look at all of the sales numbers for every single Call of Duty that was ever made, and I think you guys will find the results kind of interesting. I mean, this is a topic that is debated within the community a lot, especially recently with all of the numbers that are being discussed for Infinite Warfare, so I just kind of wanted to go over all of it for a video. I will link all of the sources for this information in the description down below if you want to go read it and check it out. This is not my list at all. Someone actually sent me this link. I'm just sharing this information with you guys because I thought it was pretty interesting, so I just kind of wanted to put it in a video format so everyone could see. Now, this is a list as of January 2017. Now, we're in February, but I would say a January 2017 list is pretty much as up to date as you're gonna get with something like this. I think this is pretty credible information. So if you look at the screen, you can see the graph right now. On the left, it lists all of the Call of Duties in order of popularity, and on the bottom you can see it lists units of sales by millions. So I'm just going to read off the list real quick and then we can get into the discussion about it because there's many things I want to point out. So first, the best selling Call of Duty ever is Modern Warfare 3 with 30.59 million. Then we got Black Ops with 30.24 million, Black Ops 2 29.4, Ghosts 27.4. Okay, I actually just noticed that this list is fucked up as I'm looking at it. I don't know why Black Ops 3 is under MW2. So we have Black Ops 3 with 25.68, MW2 with 24.95, Advanced Warfare with 21.99, COD 4 with 17.14, World at War with 14.89, COD 3 with 6.44, COD 2 with 2.09, COD Modern Warfare Reflex Edition. I don't know what the fuck that is. Alright, I just looked that up. It's actually COD 4 for the Wii, so I don't see why we can't just add those numbers into the COD 4 numbers, but I mean, it doesn't really matter because even with those additional sales, it doesn't have enough to pass Advanced Warfare anyways, so I guess we'll just leave it alone. Then we have Call of Duty The War Collection with 0.06 million. That was actually a bundle that includes Call of Duty 2, 3, and World at War. And then finally, the original Call of Duty with 0.01 million sales. So a couple things I want to point out. Number one, you'll notice that Infinite Warfare is not on this list. So this is where I had to do a little bit of math myself to place Infinite Warfare on the list. The problem is they don't actually give us the Infinite Warfare sales, but we do have hints as to what they might be. There have been multiple articles posted from the United States and from the UK, all posting the same thing about the sales numbers. Everyone is saying that Infinite Warfare sales are down almost 50% compared to Black Ops 3. So if we know that Infinite Warfare got 50% of the sales of Black Ops 3, we can do a little bit of math here to get at least an estimate of where Infinite Warfare would fall on this list. It's not going to be perfect, I know, but I think it's a pretty accurate guess as to where we could put Infinite Warfare. So as the list said, Black Ops 3 comes in at 25.68 million sales. Now, divide that by 2 so we could get 50%. That gives us 12.84 million, putting it just under World at War and basically putting it as the fourth worst selling Call of Duty of all time. The only Call of Duty that it has sold more copies than is COD 1, 2, and 3. So now that we know the sales numbers for all of the CODs and the order and everything, I kind of just want to go over a few points that I think could have influenced these numbers and a few things that may have made certain CODs be higher than others, even though maybe they shouldn't be. So, for example, some of these Call of Duties are backwards compatible, such as Black Ops 1, World at War, COD 3, and 2, I think. So I think a lot of people went out and rebought these games, whether that's a digital download or going to GameStop or whatever and buying the actual game. That counts as a new sale of the game, even though it was done in 2016. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a current list. So some of the games got a boost in sales from backwards compatibility. And then you have games like Ghosts, right? Ghosts and AW. I want to mention these two games for a moment because those were the last two games where the last gen consoles and the current gen consoles kind of mixed together. For example, me personally, I bought 2 copies of Ghosts. I had an Xbox 360 copy, and then when the Xbox One came out, I got an Xbox One and I got a Xbox One copy of Ghosts. Ghosts, right? So it's the same game, but because a new console came out, I had to double up on it. And I know a lot of people who did that as well, and that also kind of carried over into Advanced Warfare. There were a lot of people who hadn't quite got the next-gen consoles yet, so they originally got Advanced Warfare for the 360, and then they ended up getting a next-gen console, and then they got Advanced Warfare for the PS4 or for the Xbox One. So AW and Ghosts both kind of had like double up sales, if that makes sense, and I feel like that boosted their numbers quite a bit, especially Ghosts, even more so than AW, because Ghosts was the first COD to ever come out on the new consoles at the time, so everyone who got the new consoles that was a COD player already owned Ghosts for 360 or PS3, then they had to buy it again for the PS4 or for the Xbox One. Oh, and one more thing I forgot about Ghosts. In 2015, Ghosts was literally on sale for $1, and not like the $1 deal that we just had for Infinite Warfare where you had to trade a game in and then you get it for $1. This was legit. You just go in and pay $1 to get Ghosts. So that may have also increased their numbers quite a bit. I'm sure a lot of people bought it just because it was a fucking dollar. You know, why not? I just wanted to add that in here as well because I remembered that as I was editing the video. So, you know, there's small things like that that I feel influenced this list. And of course, we have to take into account the time frame. Obviously, the older CODs are not going to sell as well as the newer CODs. I think COD really gained its popularity at COD 4. That's when the series really took off. But COD 1 and 2 basically have no sales at all compared to the rest of the games. And that's understandable because the series wasn't as popular back then. Gaming wasn't as popular back then. As we progress forward, there are more people gaming. You know, gaming's getting bigger and bigger. So if the population of gamers increases, obviously the amount of people purchasing the game will increase. I mean, in a perfect world, the way it should work is every year you beat the previous numbers of the last game. That's how it technically is supposed to work. Obviously, it's not doing that. And that leads me to the Infinite Warfare discussion. So one thing I do have to clarify about that is this is including the Modern Warfare Remastered sales, all right? This is including the Legacy Edition sales of Infinite Warfare. So that being said, we have to take into consideration how many people legitimately bought Infinite Warfare because they wanted to play Modern Warfare Remastered. And we also have to take into consideration how many people wouldn't have even bought Infinite Warfare at all if the games were sold separately. I don't think I would have bought Infinite Warfare, man. There's really no need for it. There are definitely a lot of sales out there for Infinite Warfare that came strictly because of Modern Warfare Remastered, and while it may technically count as an Infinite Warfare sale, we have to be realistic about it when we look at the numbers and say, you know what? The Infinite Warfare numbers are even lower than what I'm estimating here. So if the estimate was at 12 million, we might be looking at a sub 10 million game. I don't know. Like, I don't know how many people out there legitimately only wanted Modern Warfare Remastered. You know, there's no way to really find out, but there's a possibility that Infinite Warfare would not have even sold in the double digits if it weren't for Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, would it go all the way below a COD 3 level? I don't think so. I mean, I think it's somewhere in between COD 3 and World at War. So we got World at War at almost 15 million. We got COD 3 at about 6.5 million. I think Infinite Warfare is somewhere in that range. Even without Modern Warfare Remastered, I don't think it would have sold less than COD 3. I mean, less than 6 million, like, that's just too far of a drop. Call of Duty is way too big of a game to do that horrible. Regardless of how horrible the new game may be, I don't think the sales would ever be that bad. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of my thoughts for Infinite Warfare. Regardless of what the numbers are, it's pretty sad that with as big as gaming is now compared to how big it was 10 years ago, there's no reason a Call of Duty that's coming out now should sell less copies than a game that came out 10 years ago. Like, that's unacceptable, you know what I mean? I think that says a lot about the game. The fact that Infinite Warfare literally only beat the 3 Call of Duties that came out before Call of Duty gained its real popularity, I think that really says it all. If you ask me, I think we can consider Infinite Warfare the worst selling Call of Duty of all time, even though technically it doesn't have the numbers. I guess, you know what, we'll say this. Infinite Warfare is the worst selling Call of Duty since Call of Duty became popular, and it's also the worst selling Call of Duty in the last 10 years. So, you know, maybe it's not number 1 worst, the original Call of Duty that came out fucking, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. That does have lower sales, but that's not really saying much. And one final thing before we close out the video, as I said in the beginning, this is not my list. I don't know where the fuck these numbers came from, who got these numbers. I did try to do some fact checking to see if they at least made sense, even if I couldn't find the actual numbers myself. And it does seem to be adding up. For example, if you just type into Google how many copies of Modern Warfare 3 have been sold, it says as of 2013, November 2013, MW3 had 26.5 million copies. And if that was 2013, it's not unreasonable to think it sold another 4 million copies in 4 years. You know, that's not really absurd to think. So the numbers do seem to add up. So I think even if this isn't a 100% perfect, accurate list, it's about as good as we're gonna get. I mean, the only people who have the actual numbers down to the fucking single unit are Activision themselves, and obviously they're never gonna release that. So this is really the best we can do for now, and I think it's accurate enough to at least make an informed opinion about all of it. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys think. Were you surprised by anything on this list? I can't say that I really was. If you look at the list, it does actually make sense, and it does kind of match up to what I was thinking in my head before looking at it. It wasn't exactly the order, but it's pretty close to what I assumed anyway, so can't really say I was too surprised. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you guys all for watching. Be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already. Follow me on Twitter, links in the description down below. Other than that, have a good day, and peace out.